retreat. This year, our theme is We Are Connected. Unlike previous year where we focus on the differences, this year we're focusing on our similarities and what brings us together. What are some of the things that we as a culture have in common with other culture? So today, we will be focusing on the Jamaican culture. And we have none other than Denny Walters, who is the staff for us. So welcome. Thank you so much for having me, Kenny. Yes, so today we are focusing on the Jamaican culture. It's Cultural Diversity Week. I am excited and I hope you are excited as well because we are going to have a very, very, very awesome week. As mentioned before, we are looking at what brings us together as a culture. It's not about the differences in the world, it's about what makes us unity. And today I'm going to be looking at 5 different areas. The first one is music, dance, sports, food, and even our work environment. Because if you look around, you will find that we're all from different cultures, but at the end of the day, we all come together and we're all able to work as a team to get the job done. So, as mentioned before, you're in for a treat, and I have snacks and prizes waiting for you at the end of this presentation. So, let's get started. Stay tuned. Cultural differences should not separate us from each other, but rather cultural diversity should bring a collective strength that can benefit all of humanity. And that was by a Robert, I can't see his last name right now, but Robert Allen. All right, so as mentioned, we'll be looking at the culture of Jamaica on a whole, our music, dance, the food, the tourism, and work, and then we're gonna have some fun. I have a few prizes, some Jamaican goodies that everyone can partake in, and I have some medals at the end as well, so let's see what we can get done today. All right, so when we think about the culture, Jamaica is not a very big island, but it consists of 14 different parishes. I am from St. Catherine, which is a little light blue area at the bottom. It's next door to Kingston. It was once the capital of Jamaica, but now Kingston is known as the capital. This is our coat of arms. If you look at the bottom, it says out of many one people. And the reason for that is you cannot look at a Jamaican and say, you don't look Jamaican. Because we are multiracial, we're all from different areas, India, China, they all came together and formed what we now know as Jamaica, the Jamaican people, because we're all from different places. Then in Jamaica, there are 2 main parties. When it comes on to election, there is the JLP and the PMP. During election time, it's represented by green or orange. So it's usually crazy, but at the end of the day, it doesn't matter which party you support, we are all one country and we all are supporting the same cause, which is to make Jamaica better. We have our own dollar, so we spend the US dollar, but we have our own Jamaican dollar, which is very weak right now. It's like 151 Jamaican dollars to 1 US dollar, so it's extremely weak. So if you take your money and go to Jamaica, you'd be rich. Yeah, but in reality, it's still, if you compare apples to apples, you can't buy what you could buy with a US dollar here in Jamaica because it's not the same value. The Jamaican color, as you can see, I'm wearing the Jamaican colors today. The flag, the black represents the struggles faced by the nation, basically just our strength, what we are about. The yellow represents the sunshine, the natural light of the country, and the green represents our hope, basically nature, hope, agriculture, everything that relates to that. We are predominantly a Christian country, so most of the people in Jamaica are Christian. We do have Muslims, we do have other religious faith, We also have Rastafarism. So I'm not sure any one of you may know, typically is represented by dreadlocks. They are very conscious people. They believe in Haile Selassie, which is, I think he's from Ethiopia. But they also read the Bible in its entirety. So if you try to challenge a Rastafarian, he will be able to tell you what's in the Bible from front to back. Believe it or not, English is our first language. A lot of people will say, you're Jamaican, you don't sound Jamaican. Yes, English is our first language. We speak it in school, we speak it at work, but typically when you go into the communities and you go to like, friends and families having a conversation, then you will hear the Jamaican patois. And the Jamaican patois, like Ratimi said earlier, it's basically just broken English. It's a mixture, considering Jamaica is mixed with people from all over, it's literally a mixture of all of those languages. And from what I read, it was created because they wanted a way to communicate with each other so that the slave masters would not be able to understand. So that's how the broken English came in, and that's how patois came in. All right. So a few more facts about Jamaica. It's the largest English-speaking country in the Caribbean. Yes, Archelaus. A population of 2.8 million people, so it's not that many people. And we're always leaving, but then we're always even, having more children. So the number typically remains around that number. Our national dish is not jerk chicken or oxtail. It is it is ackee and saltfish, which probably known to most of you as codfish. And it's basically a fruit, but it's cooked with fish in oil and seasoning. So when I just got here, I was driving on the road and I'm like, why is this person coming at me? Like, get out my way. Only to find out I was on the wrong side of the street. So we drive on the right side, and that's primarily because we were governed by the British, and that's how the British operates. We're influenced by what the British does. So when you come to Jamaica, we speak British English, so not American English. We refer to a lot of things that British refer to, like soccer. You guys call it football. We refer to it as soccer because that's from the British way of doing things. So the driving also is represented by that. And I learned that Jamaica was one of the first countries in the Western world to actually got a railroad system. So even before the US. So that was interesting to learn as well. All right, so how many of you listen to Jamaican music? How many of you dance to Jamaica? What?
I do. I'm saying I'm like.
Okay. So Jamaican music is let's first look at what music does to people in a whole. So I consider music to be a powerful social glue. And as we think about the theme, we're connected, it's all about what brings us together. And one of the things that brings us together is music. I'm sure all of you can agree to that. It basically allows us to cooperate, coordinate, have contact, and just have cultural cohesion with others. And if you know, Jamaica is the home of reggae and dancehall music. So that's where it was originated. There are a lot of variation of our music now, like Afrobeat. They're taking a lot away. Afrobeat sounds good, but it was influenced from reggae and dancehall music. Our music is played all over the world. So it doesn't matter where you go. Japan, I was surprised by the Japanese. They know all of our dances, they know basically everything about Jamaican music. And our artists, our Jamaican artists, the DJs and everybody, they make it so easy to learn it because they travel all over the world to perform and to bring everybody together. So some of the most famous Jamaican artists are Shaggy, Bob Marley, Sean Paul, Spice, and the newest and very fast and coming is Shensia. How many of you know that? Yeah. So she is just skyrocketing all the way up to the sky, basically. So, fun fact about Bob Marley. Dewey. Dewey did not know who Bob Marley is. He doesn't know any of his songs. So, so Bob Marley, he has several great accomplishments throughout the year. What is including serving the world as ambassador for reggae, right? Earning induction in the Rock and Roll Hall of Fame in 1994, and selling more than 20 million records, making him the first international superstar to emerge from a so-called third world country. So, when you get a chance to, I know you say you don't like music, but listen to some Bob Marley music. It will relax your mind and put you in a very conscious mood. Alright, so another thing that brings us together is sports. How many of you watch track and field? Okay. Are you watching the World Championship right now? No? Okay. So yesterday Jamaica won 1, 2, 3 in the women 100 meter race. So we are typically extremely fast in the 100, 200 meter. That's where we do well. And again, let's look at what sport does to the culture. So sport enhances social and cultural life by bringing together individuals and communities. Sports can help overcome differences and encourages dialogue. This helps to break down prejudice, stereotypes, cultural differences, ignorance and intolerance, and discrimination. So when you think about sports, everybody from all over the world comes together, and there's just that one rule, that set of rule that governs how everybody operates and behaves, which is what the Olympics and World Championship does, is used to bring the world together and in a peaceful manner, right? So during this time of the year, it doesn't matter your language, you're a Christian, your religious belief, we're all operating as one to get that race done, or whatever the competition is. Some of our famous athletes are Usain Bolt, the fastest man in the world and alive, and Shelley Ann Fraser-Price. She is one of our fastest as well, Asava Powell. So we focus a lot on track and field, but we also have soccer, which is the Reggae Boys. So when you hear, okay, the Reggae Boys are coming, then that means it's soccer time. So, Elaine Thompson and Usain Bolt are the fastest man and woman in the world right now, over 100 and 200 meter. And I wanted to show this video because we speak about how are we connected. When it's time for track and field in Jamaica, this is what Jamaica looks like. We gather in the center, and we have a top cover, whatever we can grab at this point, and we make and watch the race all together, and celebrate. If we lose, it's just that everybody just disperses together. I don't know where they go. But this is usually what Jamaica looks like.
What was the Red Stripe Beer Patrol doing there?
They're making sure that everybody's hydrated. Okay, so as the late Bogle liked to say, everybody can dance, but not everybody's a dancer. And I'm a prime example of that. So, it doesn't matter, I'm still dancing, okay? So this is one of the latest dances that is going on here, and so, another thing that brings us together is dance. And Jamaica has a rich heritage of traditional dances, But today, most of them are not, we don't do them in Jamaica anymore. They're kind of outdated, for lack of a better word. So we used to have Brookins, Denkimini, John Kuno, Kuminami, Paul, but we're not doing that. Instead, what is happening is the modern dancers are taking influence from the old dances and putting them together, and you never know what you might get. We might be in this room and they just start saying, signal the plane, and you start to signal the plane, and that's a dance. So our dance are usually referred to as something out of like the what's the word I asked, WWE?
Oh, no.
Yeah. So a lot of people would be like, you guys dance like you're in WWE. But it's not everybody that dances like that. Those are what the entertainers do. So if you ever see a video of a guy jumping from top of a building onto the ground, that's not what we do on a day-to-day basis. No, it's not what we do. It's just what the entertainers do to get bookings, but no. All right. And that's typically what, so we have street dances. A lot of people travel to Jamaica for street dances. Typically that's what our street dances look like. It's just a lot of people gathering at night. And that party probably started in the night and it's daylight now. So we typically go from 9 till day partying on the weekend. So this was a fun fact. We do not dance like we are in the WWE. That's just what entertainers do. And as mentioned before, our national dish is ackee and saltfish. So this is what ackee and saltfish look like. It's just a fruit and fish mixed together. But basically we benefit from immigration's pattern that come together to make what we have now as a Jamaican dish. So we think about Chinese, African, Indian, it's all a mixture of those spices put together to form our dishes. So for example, curry goat. Curry goat is a staple and it comes from the Indian influence. So we love curry, but it's because we are influenced by India. Jerk chicken is from our African roots, so we get all those spices, all those flavors and put together to form the Jamaican jerk chicken. And most meat that we eat is typically served with either dumplings or rice. And dumplings is just flour and water and salt kneaded together and boiled, which is pretty good. All right, and fun fact, and I think this was the food I cooked for you. But fun fact is jerk chicken and oxtail. If you hear those words, you typically think about Jamaica, and it's two of the dishes that I actually like to cook. And then there's tourism, right? So one of the main reasons why a lot of people come to Jamaica is for the beaches, the people, and the entertainment, because you are guaranteed to get all three once you come there. Other reasons are people who get married or come there for their honeymoon, just for adventure, for history, for weather, for nature, and primarily for weather as well, because a lot of people come there because they want a warmer weather in the winter. And then fun fact, most of our visitors actually come from United States, Europe, and Canada, again, because it's typically cold during the winter time and they need to get away. And when we think about work, workplace culture is an important factor to all workplaces. It determines how pleasant or how toxic the work environment is, and it has direct influence on how employees fit in. So it's important for us to come together and shape what we want our organization to look like, which is what Robert and the team did. We came together, we formed our own Chick-fil-A culture and determined, okay, this is what will shape us. And the positive traits, the 5 traits actually influence how our culture works and operates. So culture can be anything, it doesn't matter where we are. Once we have a set rule or policy in place that governs how we operate, then we can have our own individual culture. It doesn't matter where you're from, your background, any of that doesn't impact it. So yeah, all 5 traits. positive energy, grateful heart, flexible mindset, go to player, true grit, all influence what our culture is today. And that's my presentation.
For a first time Jamaican traveler, where would you suggest we go? What part of the island?
Typically for first time travel, you go to Montego Bay, Negril, or Ocho Rios. That's where the tourism aspect of it go. I've discussed with others who say, I don't want the tourism aspect, I want real Jamaican experience. You go to Kingston. So if you want real, down to earth Jamaican experience, then that's Kingston. Any more questions?
So which parish did you say you were from?
I'm from St. Catherine, which is Spanish Town, in that region.
So are there certain differences as you think about different parishes or even like regions of Jamaica where there just different subcultures?
Yes. The pathway is different, so you can determine where a person is from based on how their path was sown. So when they talk, or even though they're English, so if you listen, most of you know Shandice. Shandice and I would speak differently because she's from the countryside, and I'm from Kingston. So, well, not Kingston, but the city, for lack of a better word. But yeah, so our accent is different. That's one, but otherwise, I don't think there are that much differences.
If you could bring a piece of culture from Jamaica and bring it here, what would you like to see more of?
There's no beach here. So that's the one thing I miss. To me, Jamaica is paradise. I really love my country, but if we could get it right in terms of the economy and providing opportunities for the people of Jamaica, then I wouldn't be here. Yeah, seriously, that's literally why a lot of people leave Jamaica. It's not because it's not beautiful. It's not because everything is not there. It's literally because we want opportunity to provide for our families better. Zanisha first.
Oh, I have two in the chat.
Okay.
So, Kirsten is asking, is grade schooling in Jamaica similar to here in the US or are there differences?
Grade school, you said? Okay. So let me try to pick my words carefully. So typically, what I've been told is that if you are in let's say grade 7 in Jamaica, and you come here, based on the education system in Jamaica, you can literally go to grade 9 because they are typically more advanced than the lessons taught in the US. We have, we go all the way up to grade 11, and we leave school early. So I left high school at 16. I think you guys probably go later than that, I'm not sure. But we typically leave earlier, and the grade system is similar, except we don't go past 11th grade.
And then Devin is asking, what's your favorite dish to cook? How often do you travel back home?
I've only been here for 4 years. So the pandemic took away 2 years, so I've only been back twice since. But my goal is to travel back to Jamaica at least every year or every other year. It's literally right next to us. So.
And what's your favorite dish to cook?
Oxtails. I like oxtails.
So wait, what is that? I've heard of it.
It's the tail of an animal called the ox.
So it is an oxtail?
Yeah.
Okay, that's delicious.
It almost tastes like pot roast.
The C part. Another question for
Yes.
Oh, yes. So, one of my favorite movies growing up,
Okay.
Cool Runnings. What do you think about that movie? Did they get it right, or is it just massive exaggeration of Jamaican culture?
I couldn't say if they got it. So the culture is depicted properly. But it's been so long since I watched that movie. But I think